Hey, so welcome to Unit 2. Here we are with our first academic essay. So we'll be doing two academic essays, this one and the next one. And the last one is kind of it can kind of go either way. It depends on, where you want to take it. So anyway, let's take a look at Unit 2. Here we go. So, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn the academic voice and tone. So, through our essay, and then of course, there's going to be a cover letter with this. So, we practiced the business letter, and now we'll be writing cover letters with this essay and the next one. And so, that's working on that business voice and tone. And of course, we're working on grammar and mechanics. So, I've given you, or you'll have feedback fairly soon from your format assignments, and here, I'm beginning to give you that instruction in that, so we're working on that here. And then the basics of MLA documentation. So we've already done the format, so we'll be doing, what do you do if you have sources? So where would you use this? This is really focused on college and your profession. Now, we're going to have a whole lot of readings and writings about literature with this. So because that's what we're looking at. And one of the things that people often ask is, why do I have to, look at literature? I'm not going to be an English major. And by the way, if you are going to be an English major, talk to me. I might talk you out of it. Okay? I mean, dude, really. But one of the things literature does, well, you'll read about it in the essay assignment, but it really does help us, give us insight into like how to, read through and look at people more deeply and situations more deeply. And you look at a lot of research, you look at a lot of business people who say, yeah, being able to do that, those are called soft skills. So they're your people skills. They're your being able to, look at somebody and listen to what they're saying and read beyond just their words. And those soft skills are very important. A smart fifth grader can learn the hard skills. They can learn to memorize stuff. They can learn, I mean, a really smart, determined one that practices a lot can do surgery. I mean, kids, they're pretty skillful by fifth grade. Have you ever watched any of them that are really into sports play a sport? I mean, some of them are really good. So, yeah, they can learn the skills, but it's the critical thinking. It's the deeper thinking that only develops as we grow up and as we develop. And so, these soft skills, what you bring, those skills are the things that are very important in a profession because they're more than just, yes, I know this stuff from the book. Lots of people can know the stuff from the book, but can you know what to do with it? Do you know how to integrate it, to think about how it works for people? And those things become really important. So literature plays a big role in that. It also deals with a lot of ethical issues. Those are also skills that are beyond just in a lot of fields you have to take an ethics course, and they're really key and they're central to what we do because a lot of you will be going to fields where ethics are very important. Teaching ethics are important, right? And so, that's another place. I'm not going to justify my job to you or why this is important. I've done enough of that, and you'll read a little bit more about it. But one of the things that we do know that business people, time after time, say yes, it brings those soft skills. So they're just as important to work on as your knowledge in your field. Work on both of those, and find ways to get both of those on your resume as you work toward your degree because you're going to be competing with people who have the same degree and you're going to be competing with people who have your degree plus experience. So whatever you can add to your resume, to your abilities and your skills, then you want to do whatever you can. So anyway, okay, we're going to read about writing about literature because that helps. There are a number of samples, and so we'll be reading, watching. I have some walkthroughs, video walkthroughs. Please make sure and really listen to those. Don't just like kind of YouTube them in the background while you're doing something else. Um, Put eyes on those because those really show you here are the parts of this essay and here's how that worked. For both this essay and the next one, those walkthroughs are really important. Um, we have questions with all of these. So you're going to be reading through the questions and looking at them because in the end, the story we're going to read for the essay you'll write, you'll be given questions. And that's like a predominant, very common assignment in college and schooling overall. Um, so one of the things I did want to show you is, oh, where'd it go? I lost it. Oh, this right here. Writer's reference writing about literature supplement. It is in your. You can just click on it. I have an online version here. It'll open up a PDF file. Just notice here that it says page numbers 3 through 14, and the PDF's page numbers are 5 through 16. So what happens is this gives you, you've got the numbers on the PDF, which is being very slow. So you've got the numbers on the PDF. See, we've got those. So like 5, and we go to 5, and notice that page 5 starts with reading, forming, and interpretation 3. So whenever I say, you know, the 3 through 14, that's the page numbers that are actually here, okay? But the PDF's page numbers are 5 through 16. So you're reading 5 through 16. And this is kind of short. There's a lot of examples. So read through them, think about them. This is really key in our overall how do we do this kind of thing. So we've got the samples, and then of course documentation, because we're using a source. And so, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. When we're using sources, one of the things we need to do is in academic essays, we need to make sure we cite them correctly. And so MLA is used in English, and we'll be going through this. We'll get some introduction on this. But I know that a number of other places use it too. I think our computing classes used to use it, may still be. So there are a number of places you may be asked to use MLA. So you've already done the format. Here we're going to practice the citation. We're only doing one source, so it's just like dipping a toe in citation, MLA citation. Okay. And then we've got a number of things kind of do. Of course, we'll do quizzes as we go through. You'll do a discussion where you practice just doing this kind of writing in one paragraph. And then we'll do some pre-writings. And pre-writings are, I'm not grading your grammar, your writing. Hey, the more you pay attention to it, clean it up, use Grammarly, use your spell check, the better off you are in the end. But I'm really with those, I really want you to get the ideas in there. Now, the better you do them, like I said, when you have, so they're kind of a no harm, no foul, because it's just like, did you do these and get these? You do these, you turn thoughtfully, completely, turn them in on time. They're 100, okay? You need to complete them and do them thoughtfully. And then you'll be turning in your cover letter draft and your essay draft. I will then give you feedback on them, and then I'll let you know, or it'll be on the schedule. I'll give you feedback on them, and then you'll turn in your final for the actual grade. So the cover letter, the pre-writings, the cover letter, and the draft, the cover letter and essay draft, those are really, if you do them all thoughtfully and on time, completely, your essay may not be totally like as long as it's supposed to be. That's part of what I'll help you with. But, if you give it serious thought, and if you do the pre-writings, it'll give you quite a bit. Those are really, you do those and do them on time, they're 100s. They're not your essay and the cover letter grade, okay? And that just gives me a chance to give you that feedback. So you're giving the rough draft to me. I get to do the teaching before I do the grading. It's crazy. I know. Why would I do that? Anyway, and then once I get that back to you, then you'll be turning in the finals. We'll be moving on to the next essay. So you're going to have to do what adulting, right? You work on a little bit of this, you work on a little bit of that, you juggle some. So we'll be starting into the next essay, but you'll have my feedback, and you'll be able to use that. And of course, go to the Writing Center, and you can go to the Writing Center before, as you're working on the draft, the pre-writings. So you can use that as you work on your final, and then that's the one I'll grade, and then we'll get the grade, and that's where those big points are for your essay stuff. Okay. So let me show you a few things. Our support stuff that we have here, of course, on Blackboard under Unit 2, we've got the literary analysis webpage, and this one has, and I'll have, I'm uploading these videos, so they'll be linked there. There's a reading, but there's other stuff on your schedule, so make sure you're looking at your schedule for each story that we read. So we're reading 4 different stories, And for the first three, there's questions. Well, for the first two, there's questions to consider, and then there's a sample essay. This is all the same essay. It's just I'm giving you these video walkthroughs or the paragraph breakdowns, or there's just also a copy of it. So if you want to look at it and say, okay, this is what it looks like in MLA format, you can see, okay, when I'm done, mine should look like this. So that's there for the pedestrian and resistance. So you'll read the story, do that stuff. Um, this is a whole, like when I wrote this essay that I used as a sample, I ended up recording it. So it's like 50 minutes of video of me talking as I write an essay. It's really exciting. You may want to go through it, man. Speed it up or just kind of click, look, put it on in the background while you're, I don't know, playing, killing zombies or something. I don't know, whatever. But I mean, I do talk about like a kind of way to put together an essay like this. So it's there. I just thought I'm doing this anyway with the computer. I might as well narrate my experience and put it on YouTube. That's what everybody does. So anyway, just do it doesn't have any essay with it. Questions to consider. That's one that you're going to do on the discussion board. So you'll be choosing one of the questions and just writing a short, like paragraph response to it, because that's just practice for the essay. And then the perfect match is the story we'll be reading and writing the essay and cover letter for. And so follow the track, right? Follow the order of things. Don't just dive in there and do this first, but follow the order of things. Do the pre-writings in order. When we look at the schedule, oh, I didn't save here, but anyway. But when we look at the schedule, you'll see that, this is the video I'm working on now. I mean, it is full, right? This is the mini mester again, so if you're in the 16-week, yours isn't going to look all this full right up front. But we're doing a lot of this background reading, stuff like that. But do remember some of the things are really short. A number of these are, there's some videos here, things like that. Um, and then when we get to, and of course we're still studying some grammar as we go along, um, but we're working on these step by step, okay? And then working up to this. So that's where I am right now, okay? Um, so as we work on it, just remember that on the literary page, there's everything, all the samples and everything. Go back, really pay attention to those. All the content, turn in your content here, and there's the direct link to the literary analysis page and our discussions. Our Unit 2, there's the drafts. And like I said, we'll be moving on to Unit 3 while I'm grading and I get that back to you. And then when it's time to turn in your final, you need to come back to Unit 2 and turn in your final. And please make sure you turn in your draft to the draft spot and your finals to the final. When I have to go hunting for them, things get lost and it's not fun. And remember, you're each my favorite student, but I have a bunch of you, okay? So it's, juggling, adulting, yay. And I think that's pretty much where we're at for Unit 2. So basically, we're going to do that. You'll write an essay about a story and walk through it. And remember, we're doing it step by step. Don't not turn something in because you don't know how to do it, because that's my job, to help you learn how to do it. And if you already know how to do it, cool. I'm going to help you do it even better. All right? So give yourself the chance to learn by giving it to me and making me do work, because, this is the fun stuff. Okay? So um, that's all I've got. Read, follow instructions, ask questions as you go along, and as always, take care of yourself. Cool beans.